Sometimes a single stone is enough to make us question the entire history of humanity. Sometimes it is an ancient canal or strange symbols carved into the bed of a river. These places exist on different continents and were created by different cultures. Yet they share one common feature. They do not fully fit into the familiar picture of the past. Official science offers its explanations, but the closer researchers look at these sites, the more details appear that are difficult to explain. And this raises a question. Do we truly know everything about ancient history? Or are we looking at only a small part of a much larger and more complex story? In southern India, on the rocky bed of the Shalmala River, there is a complex known as Sahasralinga. The name comes from Sanskrit. Sahasra means thousand, and linga is a symbol of the god Shiva. In reality, however, the number of these symbols is far greater than 1,000. They are scattered across dozens of square meters of the riverbed and its banks. The official historical interpretation mostly connects the creation of these carved figures with the medieval period, particularly with the Kadamba dynasty, which actively supported Shaivite traditions between the 9th and 13th centuries. According to this version, the stones were intentionally carved by craftsmen to create a sacred landscape that could serve as a place of pilgrimage and purification for believers. Yet this explanation does not answer all the questions. First, the erosion of some figures is so strong that certain researchers believe that at least part of them may be much older and were later reworked. This would mean that the original layer of symbols could be significantly older than the commonly accepted dating suggests. Second, the location of the lingas directly in the riverbed creates a unique context. During seasonal floods, the symbols become submerged underwater, and later they appear again as the water level drops. The traditional interpretation describes this as a symbolic act of purification. However, alternative hypotheses suggest far more intriguing ideas. Some researchers believe that this may reflect very ancient observations of seasonal water cycles encoded in a sacred form. Others suggest it might even represent a type of astronomical or seasonal calendar used by ancient communities to determine the timing of ritual cycles. A few independent researchers also claim that the interaction between the natural cracks in the rock and the carved shapes could create specific acoustic resonances when the river floods. According to this idea, the sound of flowing water interacting with the carved surfaces may have played a role in ritual practices. Interestingly, this possibility has barely been studied in detail. The question of dating is also debated. Archaeologists often rely on stylistic comparisons and indirect historical references. However, the absence of clear material artifacts that can be directly connected to the carvings leaves room for alternative interpretations. Some researchers even suggest that the earliest elements of the complex could date back thousands of years before the currently accepted timeline, possibly created by earlier cultures or communities that possessed a deeper knowledge of stoneworking than we usually assume. High in the Peruvian Andes, near the city of Cajamarca, lies Mayo, a mountain canal about 8 kilometers long, carved directly into the rock. The commonly accepted dating places it around 1000 to 1500 BCE, making it one of the oldest hydraulic engineering structures in the Americas. Archaeologists believe the canal was used to redirect water from one drainage basin to another, providing irrigation and possibly serving ritual purposes as well. However, this raises an important question. Could pre-ceramic cultures, which are usually credited with building the structure, really have possessed such a precise understanding of slopes, erosion, and water flow. Engineers who studied the canal note the almost perfect gradient that allows water to flow smoothly without stagnation. Some alternative researchers interpret this as a sign that the builders may have belonged to a much more advanced culture than traditionally believed, or that there may have been a lost technological stage in the region's development. There is also a hypothesis that the canal might once have been part of a much larger system, most of which could now be destroyed or hidden beneath layers of soil and vegetation. Some authors of alternative history go even further, suggesting that such structures might have been created during a period when the climate and geography of the region were significantly different from today, potentially pushing the timeline much deeper into the past. Particularly intriguing are the sharp right-angle turns found along the canal. Official explanations suggest that these turns were designed to slow the speed of the water flow. Critics of this explanation argue that such precise geometric solutions resemble deliberate engineering calculations that would normally require accurate measurement techniques. If the structure was created using only primitive stone tools, it raises further questions about the resources, organization of labor, and level of social coordination required to complete such a project. These factors could suggest a more complex society than the one usually described in conventional models of the region's development. In Japan, in Hyogo Prefecture, there is another mysterious object, the megalith known as Ishi no Hoden. It is one of the most enigmatic stone structures in Asia. The object is a massive block of tuff, weighing around 500 tons, with remarkably straight and geometrically precise surfaces that almost appear machine-made. Yet, there are no clear traces of tools that would explain how such shapes were achieved. Traditional archaeology generally associates the monument with the Kofun period, between the 3rd and 7th centuries CE. It may have been related to burial traditions or ritual complexes that were common in Japan at that time. However, even within this interpretation, there are no clear archaeological layers that definitively confirm the monument's function or purpose. Because of this, many independent researchers question not only the dating, but also the interpretation itself. Some scholars working outside traditional academic institutions suggest that shaping such a massive stone block might have required tools or technologies that exceed the level normally attributed to the Kofun culture. There are also theories that the stone may not have been part of a tomb at all. Instead, it could have served as a ceremonial observation point or a symbolic energy center connected with early Shinto traditions that venerated natural forces. According to this idea, the geometric form of the stone might not be random, but could correspond to certain mathematical or astronomical principles similar to those observed in other megalithic structures around the world. Another puzzle lies in the method of carving itself. The extremely straight surfaces look as if they were shaped not simply by manual labor, but with the help of measuring techniques that should not have been available at that time. Some alternative hypotheses go even further, suggesting that Ishi no Hoden might be the remnant of a larger structure or system whose original purpose is now lost. In all three cases, we can notice a common pattern: stone, water, and precision. Official science offers rational explanations based on the available evidence, yet those explanations do not always resolve every unanswered question. Alternative hypotheses, although often treated with skepticism, tend to focus precisely on those gaps: erosion patterns, geometry, scale, and technological challenges. Perhaps we simply do not yet possess the tools needed to fully understand the intentions and capabilities of the people who created these structures. Or perhaps the issue lies not in the tools, but in the historical model itself, the one we have become used to considering complete. For today, that is all. We look forward to hearing your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel if you have not done so yet. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.